Well, hello everyone. Thank you for being at the Growth Marketing and Abound. And today we have Itamar Gilad. I know him from a friend of a friend, and I will tell you a little bit more. He's doing an amazing event and he's doing some amazing workshops. Itamar is experienced product manager, coach, and presenter with more than 20 years of experience, and an engineer at Google, Microsoft, IBM, and some of startups. And he helps companies to build high impact tech products. Thank you very much, Itamar, for being in the show today.
Pleasure. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, we know after talking that we actually live just a few streets away.
Yeah, that's a crazy coincidence. We should have done this live.
Yes, we should. Well, actually, we're going to make, I love to do Facebook Live, then we can do a coffee live, and I think it's a good way.
Yeah.
Itamar, tell me a little bit about your background and how did you became manager for Google and how long ago it was?
So my background is in engineering. I was a computer science major, computer engineering. And then I did like a few years of this stuff. I was a programmer for a living, then an engineering manager. And then early 2000, I took a turn to the dark side and I became a product manager. I figured out I don't want to continue to be an engineering manager. And that actually clicked with me. I really like talking to the customers, really understanding the market and going back to the team and building stuff. The best of both worlds, but it's a tough job. And I did this in startups, I did this in Microsoft, and eventually I did this in Google, where I was product manager, not engineering manager. And I worked there for 6.5 years, mostly on Gmail. So if you're using Gmail, if you like Gmail, some of the things you like or dislike, maybe I had something to do with them.
I love it. We love Gmail. We love it. It's the way we help our customers to communicate with. I love sending emails with love, man.
That's perfect. And it was really rewarding to work on such a product that is so well loved and everyone kind of appreciates it. And there I also kind of got my first taste of growth. So in addition to being a product manager, I also headed the growth team of Gmail for a certain period of time. And this was super exciting and interesting because Gmail is a flagship product of Google in a sense. When I joined Gmail, we were around officially, like the official number, 420 million. When I left, it was over 1 billion. So, and this is over a period of a few years. So, of course, I cannot take credit even for a fraction of it, but it is quite significant growth.
And I love the way, because actually we know about the best growth hacks ever. And I think the #1 growth hack ever was the Hotmail thing. I don't know if you got some inspiration from that.
Honestly, Gmail was a huge, and Google in general was a huge school for me. And it taught me that there is even a bigger growth hack, which is to deliver tremendous value to your customers. And I think if you read the books by Sean Ellis, if you read anything that any respectable growth expert says, it's first and foremost understand your market, drive tremendous growth to them. That makes everything else simpler. And after that, you have millions of tools and hacks and many optimizations you can make. But that's the foundation. And Google is very strong with that. That's why Google is Google, because they put the users front and center.
I love the fact, and now that you're saying journalists, you have an event with journalists on when? October, I think is that?
It's September 30th here in Barcelona, 2 days, September 30th, October 1st. And it's we're very excited about this. Sean is one of my gurus, really. I teach stuff that Sean created. He's a genius. And we somehow got together, and I was completely humbled that actually would talk to me. And we decided it will be really cool to do an event that includes product management and growth. It's kind of two sides of the coin, because growth is about building value and it's also about growing the value and growing the business. And Sean is going to bring his expertise. He comes from marketing originally, obviously. but he knows tremendously about products. I come from engineering product, and I think it will be a one-of-a-kind kind of event where people can get a very comprehensive view of what they can do to drive more value to their customers and to capitalize on this and grow the business.
Is the event for everyone? Is it like everyone can go, or who is the event for?
It's designed for cross-functional teams. So if you have already a product with product market fit and you have a team that wants to grow it, so it could be engineers, could be product managers, could be marketeers, could be designers, anyone that is involved with the growth, this team will find value in it.
Well, I love it because I'm very sure I hope some of the people in the group comes, and if not, you know, Itamar, I came to you because I love journalists. I love what you're doing, man. And anything helping you guys to promote, it's always wonderful. And this is also happening in Barcelona, which is the best, you know, to go to see yourself and journalists to London, stuff like this, it's okay. But if it's coming in Barcelona, and it's going to be on 21st, again, sorry, the dates are...
September 30 and October 1st.
Exactly, and it's going to be a big event, something, or a smaller, big committee?
It's there's limited number of tickets for groups of up to 5 people, and it's going to be a 2-day event. A lot of people don't know enough about Barcelona, but it's becoming a tech hub. As you know, there's a lot going on here. We have Mobile World Congress. We have a big infrastructure of technology happening. You know this as well as I do. So it's really great to invite people from the outside to discover.
I think sometimes you think, oh yeah, Barcelona. I don't know if it's like we check our own too much without really checking outside, because we say Barcelona is so great, which I love, and I'm with you. Is it so well known outside? That's what I mean.
I didn't know. When I came to Barcelona, I was like, there's no tech here. I'm just coming for a lifestyle. But then I realized there's actually a lot going on. There's a big startup scene, there's investors, there's established companies. So I think it's a very exciting time to be in Barcelona, actually.
I think so too. I think things are growing pretty well. Also, just about the event, guys, go into and click there if you have any questions. Itamar, I'm very sure they will like to help you with this. Also, I never do, what's that called, promotion or affiliation. I will always do it for the love of it. But if you are here, also tell me you have a workshop, you do product management workshops. If you can tell me a little bit more about it and everyone can know, and what tips you can recommend for everyone.
So I've been a product manager for a long time, for 15, 17 years, depending how you count. And I made all the mistakes in the book, really. I went into wars, I fought with my stakeholders, I launched stupid features, I did really terrible things.
What company was that for? Was it with Gmail or before?
This was with a bunch of companies in Israel, for Microsoft, for Google. In Google, you're not allowed to make that many mistakes with Gmail because it's...
Okay, it's a few million people.
Yeah. So over the years, I kind of developed my own sense of what works and what doesn't work. And I also started to be a bit kind of contrarian to a lot of the practices of product management today, the roadmaps, the product backlogs, the cult of agile. And I really embraced kind of lean startup, and I'm starting to teach how to do lean startup-ish, combining agile, combining design thinking, combining growth hacking into what I call the GIST. GIST is my framework. It's goals, ideas, steps, and tasks. And it's a case where I published a lot of articles. Once I published the GIST article, all of a sudden people started contacting me and asking for a workshop. And that's really, for me, a sense of product market fit. People really resonated with it. So that's one thing I teach in my workshops. And the other things are kind of how to be strategic, how to do product strategy, how to work cross-functionally, etc. There is one next week, by the way, and there's still last tickets.
Oh, nice. Where is it going to be and who's it for?
It's here in Barcelona, 17th of July. and it's for product managers or people working with product managers. Again, I welcome cross-functional teams, UX, engineering, product. They all benefit from doing this. And yeah, it's exciting to share this knowledge with folks.
Is it usually from digital companies who has raised? Is it like who is people who's attending in the event?
So you get a mix of everything. You get very involved tech companies like, for example,
Pantox or Criteo. Or...
Yeah, all the companies, the startups that are from the ground up, they were always digital. You know, if you know, for example, Doodle in Switzerland, others, and they come to just learn new stuff, learn new tools. And you get other companies sometimes coming, like Bosch, for example. I gave them a workshop just recently. They're kind of embracing some of these new things. There's a lot of desire, as you know, to transform, to digitize, but they need a language and they need a set of tools. And I think it's applicable across the board.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes it happened to us. A few companies call us, Gerard, come on, explain us outbound marketing. It's like, okay, sometimes, at least to me, do you want me to come and distract you, the team, and motivate them on how to send emails? Or you really want like to change the vision and the way you do things? Yeah. I don't know if this happens to you sometimes. It's like,
It's, yeah, you know this as well as I do. When you come, you cannot just teach tools, you need to also teach principles. And the methodology relies on the change. People use the term culture. I don't like culture so much. It's kind of how we behave, how we think. And a lot of times when you dig deeper, you find that they don't do things not just because of lack of knowledge. A lot of people read the books and are very excited about them. It's more deep-rooted organizational challenges. For example, a big one that I always kind of moan about in my workshops is the top-down kind of planning process where we managers, we sit at the top in a boardroom, we think what's really going to be the big plan, the strategy, and then all you little people start executing.
Nice. So productive, man. Yes, yeah. That's it. I want it all.
They don't really think they're doing that. That's the interesting thing. They think they are agile, but a lot of times the old ways, the roadmaps, etc., the strategy planning forces them into this old way of working. And the transformation can take place in steps.
And years.
For some organizations, it's like this. Some organizations I've seen transform themselves very quickly.
And also probably transformation might be coming when they have like big struggles, like probably a new feature of Google has just break them and it's like, fuck, let's change the whole structure of the company. Let's kicked out half of the people. You agree with me that it's like when we go with shit times, it's like, okay, let's call this guy called Itamar to restructure the company. Has it happened to you?
It has, and I'm actually trying to see where I can add value, because in some cases I cannot. When there needs to be a deep organizational change, it's not a product manager expertise, it's organizational expertise.
It's another thing. We do have, it's just different sides, no? But sometimes companies call me, Gerard, can you help me to do an outbound marketing? It's like, yes. It's like, my Facebook ads just like not big work. It's like, okay, let's go in, man. And it's like, yeah, your Facebook ads not working because your product is shit. I'm sorry, I cannot help you, man. You know, Facebook ads, Google ads, outbound will not help you, man. It's just like, it's shit. And
it's true.
It's true.
We like to point the finger at all the organizations not being so modern, but actually even the way I worked in the past was not completely different. I work with startups, and even the concept that you can allow the teams, you can give the teams business goals and tell them just experiment, just do whatever it takes to achieve the business goals. This is foreign to a lot of young entrepreneurs. They feel they really need to instruct the people what to do. And that's very hard transition to stop this and to say, let's take a step back, just tell them what you want them to achieve. And for me, this is kernel of growth as well. In growth, we set the North Star metric. We say, let's run experiment. Let's do whatever it takes to reach the target. And there's no prescribed plan how to do growth.
And one tool may be working for someone else, and another tool may be not working for anyone. Is that true? Like, yeah, I can tell you, yeah, ads, Facebook ads with this copy might be working. But one of the things, I don't know if you say, but it's OKR. It's related to a little bit to the process that you're teaching.
Yes. Yeah, objectives and key results. It's a system that Intel invented in the early 70s. And basically, Andy Grove, the CEO at the time, just needed to be able to align the entire organization around a goal. And he invented this hierarchical system that goes top down and bottom up, and that everyone can, it's very transparent, everyone can see the goals of the other. He just broke it into two parts. The objective, which is kind of the mission that we want to achieve. It's high level, it's very abstract, it's inspirational. And then a set of key results, which are measurable and are results oriented. And that's what we call outcomes. An outcome is to improve the number of verified leads or qualified leads, or by 50%. An outcome is improving retention by 10%. These are good outcomes. What I do see is a lot of organizations embracing this system, and then they bake the plan they already created into it and they hide it. It's like the outcome is that you launch this product that I designed.
And if you do it quicker, next time you're going to have less time.
Exactly. Velocity. That's a very strong word.
It's funny because I was speaking to a friend. He's from derecho.com, Miquel Manet, and he's a good friend. And he's like, it's like, Miquel, do you have anyone working on Fridays? Like, no, man, we apply OKR. It's like, what the fuck is OKR? It's like, yeah, if you achieve your goals, man, you leave Friday early. You don't even need to turn out. You work from home. It's like, fuck, this is a disaster, man. It's like, no, we've been doing it for 2 years.
That's interesting. I've never heard this outcome of OKRs, but it's very good if you can back it.
I'm happy to introduce you to him, and it was a real question, and that's how we started. It's like, all right, let's see about this OKR thing. Christian, my co-founder, in the beginning we started using Scrum and product owner and all that, but you know what? And you're going to be laughing at this. We just thought it was a waste of time for us. Probably I'm wrong, huh? And we are in a stage where super small. FindThatLead is like, yeah, we are big, but no, we are like have 100,000 users. It's not so much. Like, well, it's nothing compared to Gmail. And it's like, for us, trying to prepare the week, the sprint, and all that was taking way too much than we could implement. I don't know if it happens to you, that you go to companies like, yeah, we don't have time to organize. We should have to keep doing.
Yeah. Well, you know the story about the guy that walked through a forest and met another guy chopping a tree with an axe. And he stopped by and says, you would chop the tree faster if you sharpen the axe. And the other guy says, I don't have time to sharpen the axe, so I'm chopping the tree right now. So I see a lot of this, and I see a lot of companies just embracing one-size-fits-all processes. OKRs is great for a certain size of organization.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a 5-person startup or even a 10-person, you might want to consider. Scrum, on a lightweight version of Scrum is useful, but the heavyweight version may be a little bit of an overhead while your team is very small. That's my opinion anyway. So it's not just wholesale, just take the process as Google implements it and just copy it. So it works for you. And
that's actually, I hate this thing, man. Sharpen the axe. I hate it. It's painful, man. It's really hurting me. What about, one question is, will it be, if one of them, Jira or Trello?
Jira or Trello? That's the thing.
Or either.
These are trap questions that I always try to avoid because I'm not an expert on any of these tools. I'm I'm agnostic of them.
What tool would you recommend to organize the teams?
There's so many, it's impossible to say.
Which one do you use, if you can recommend any?
I'm going to show how old school I am. I'm using spreadsheets a lot of times, at least to organize my work.
I love it. And then.
But there is spreadsheets on steroids, which is called Airtables. If you know.
Yes, we know Airtables very well. Yeah. Yes.
I highly recommend Airtables, but it's really whatever works for you. What I found over the years is that the tools that are more basic, more atomic, more down to earth, and you can mold them, like Trello, for example.
Like Trello, yes. We do have. It's funny, huh? We use Asana, Jira, Trello. We went to Jira, and then I think we're now like, fuck it, man, it's too complicated. Some of the guys in the staff, and let's go back, because we do have some guys in India, others Argentina, others in Russia, and we do have a little bit of like messy Slack emails, asking through whatever, and
that's actually pretty typical to what I see. It's a combination of Jira, Slack, Trello, or something similar.
And emails with like, that's the task I asked you, but plus a Word document, man. Though a Word needs to be there.
Word or Google Docs?
Yeah, Google Docs, and then it's like a Google Docs with all the tasks I sent him that he never done. Stuff like this. I love it.
Yeah, so teams are using this. The main problem is there's a lot of interruptions. Slack interrupts you a lot. Yeah. Jira sometimes takes a lot of time to use properly. So again, I recommend to teams to start small and go to the Jira and Slack when it's time.
Yeah, I think a good point that you talk about interruption. I don't know, well, you probably know the book from Rework.
Which one, sorry?
Rework.
No, I haven't read it. I know about it.
Oh man, and he talks about the interruption, and we say we don't apply it always, well, nearly never. Like have these work times where everyone is working and no one is disturbing anyone, but it's difficult. I don't know if you recommend this or anything like similar.
Again, I think to each his own. I highly recommend to people, before you jump in and start working, take some time to stop and think about your goals. What is it that you're actually trying to achieve? And prioritize them a little bit. Just ask yourself, in the next 3 months, in the next 12 months, where do we want to be? And it applies for work as well as to personal life. Mm. And then you should realize that there's more than one way to achieve the goals. So start collecting ideas. Just think like, if one of your goals is to have more fun, you can learn a new sport, you can go salsa dancing, you can do a million things. But you need to kind of choose.
I love that what you say about the goals. And one is, Tim Ferriss says, dreamlining, isn't it? From every 3 months to a year, do, have, and be. Mm-hmm. And to specify them in 3 lines, and then where we're going to be, where I want to be, what I want to do in 3 months or in a year's time. And we used to implement it in the company, and some of us got like a new motorbike or a new flat and stuff like that. And it's beautiful to see the evolution from everyone. And I think it's a message, and it's not just goals, but also like to share it with the team, to know which line, not only for the company, but also on a personal level.
Yeah, goals are an incredibly powerful tool. So when we talked about OKRs for Intel in the 1970s, or we talk about this now, or we talk about the Prussian army in the 19th century, they realized after Napoleon kicked their butt that the way they were running the army was wrong. And they switched back and they started looking back at how Napoleon did it, and they realized they were trying to instruct every soldier exactly what to do on the field. There was no freedom, there was a set plan. They stepped back and said, let's give them mission goals. Let's say, conquer this hill or conquer this bridge. We don't care how you do it, just go ahead and do it. And then the commander in the field has more ability to do things.
And more freedom. And when people feel free, they feel empowered, and then they can achieve whatever the fuck they want, isn't it?
Exactly.
I love that story, man. I didn't know it.
Yeah,
Fuck, sharpen the axe and this Napoleon Hill thing, man. I love it. I learned so much from this Facebook Live. It's like, whoa. Yeah, I love this. Give me another one.
No, you can look it up. It's called Mission Command. After the Prussians embraced it, it became part of the German army. They became extremely efficient. And now it's part of most armies, modern armies. They use this principle. And the strange thing is that in tech, in industries, we're discovering this now. It's actually kind of like we're behind the army in some respects.
Well, good idea. Command Napoleon. I wrote Napoleon Hill. It's not Napoleon Hill. It's Napoleon Hill.
It's Mission Command.
Mission Command. That's it. From who is it?
From the Prussian army. Yeah.
Okay, that's.
I can send some links if you're interested.
Yes, once we do the transcript, I think all these links are very beautiful to share with everyone to be able to resume. But I think I would love to have a coffee with you in a few days. If we can meet again, I think it will be amazing. This is number one. Number two, you remind me, when is the event and 2 events that you are preparing?
So if you want just a 1-day intense course for product management, lean product management, that's here in Barcelona on the 17th. You have 8 days still to choose, but that's the very last tickets. So everyone's invited. And if you want to meet the great Sean Ellis, really, it's...
well, and yourself, man.
It's not even on the same scale.
Yeah.
So Sean is really a legend, and he's coming to Barcelona. That doesn't happen every day either.
No.
And you're going to get the best of his stuff and the best of my stuff. So I think a couple of days, September 30th, and you will share the links, I assume, to the both events.
Okay, Itamar, it's been a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much. And I love to have a coffee next week. I will send you an email to set it up. And that's it for me.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much for being in the group.
Thanks for the invitation.
Okay, best wishes. See you later. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.